Okay, these are the notes I will be using for my speech. There we go. Words. These are my beautiful crowd of people.
Do the wave. I don't even know how to do the wave.
When you think of people with relationship problems, you may think of the Kardashians, or maybe that one couple from your high school days that always used to update their Facebook stories. Out of all the relationships I've been into this point, I can say altruistic lying is the one problem I have when it comes to communicating with my partner about financial topics. There may be moments in your relationship where you get asked a question and you know what you should say, but it's not quite how you feel. Now, do you be honest and risk the potential of hurting their feelings, or do you lie in order to protect their emotions? Well, today I'm going to be teaching you exactly what to do in situations like these by using assertion instead of altruistic lying in order to avoid lying as a whole. Firstly, I'll be talking about what altruistic lying and assertion really are. Then I'll be talking about some problems that arise through altruistic lying and give some real-life examples as to some scenarios on this. And finally, I'll be talking about how we can use assertion in replace of altruistic lying in order to avoid these problems. Now, in order to really understand the problems that arise through altruistic lying and being able to come up with a better strategy using assertion, we first need to really understand what these two forms of communication truly are. In the text Essential Communication 101 textbook, written by Ronald B. Adler, a professor of communications at Santa Barbara City College, he goes into great detail about these two forms of communication. In Adler's own words, altruistic lying is defined by those who tell them as harmless or even beneficial to whom they are being told to. Basically, lies intended for the good of the other individual. Adler also goes into great detail about assertion, claiming assertiveness is a means to express our wants, feelings, or emotions. Now, as for an example of this in a financial situation, imagine you may not be able to afford some of the things that your partner wants, like a nice meal or some new clothes. Now you have the option. Do you A, use altruistic lying in order to protect them and save their emotions, or B, do you use assertion in order to be honest and get your point across and express how you truly feel? This is exactly how I myself would define altruistic lying in my personal life, because I see it as something that is harmless and even sometimes beneficial to the other party because I'm using it as a good intention to help save their emotions. When in reality, any form of lying is bad in a relationship, especially during serious topics like financial problems. Now that we have a better grasp on these terms, we need to understand why we want to come up with a better strategy in order to replace altruistic lying by using assertion. We need to understand really why altruistic lying is bad. In a research activity done by Mary E. Kepler, who is a doctor of psychology, she wrote down her findings from this research activity in her article, Lying Happily Ever After. This research activity was done in 2016, where she asked multiple couples about their personal experiences in their relationships, and whether or not they preferred being lied to in order to protect their feelings, or whether they preferred their partner being honest. Out of all these couples, 85% claimed that they would rather prefer having their partner being honest to them, and that after they figured out that their partner lied to them, had a much harder time really trusting what they had to say. I feel like these problems occur because a lot of people don't understand what to really do in these kinds of situations, which is why now I'll be teaching you how we can avoid lying by using assertion instead of altruistic lying in order to get our points across and stay honest. In an article written by Terry Gaspard, who happens to also be a relationship therapist, she claimed that the best way to deal with serious problems like financial issues is to be vulnerable and open. Using messages like "I" is better than straying away from honesty. It helps you get your point across, being fully honest, and also helps express your true emotions. Now think of it. Say you just got fired from your job and you go home. Wouldn't you much rather prefer to be honest and open with your partner and just tell them how you truly feel about the situation? It relieves a lot of stress and helps keep the honesty in between the relationship. This is much better than lying, trying to cover up saying everything is fine, because at the end she will figure out and it will be just another problem to deal with. I can say that this happens a lot in my personal relationships because some of the times when we want to go out and do some things, I may not be able to afford it financially. And instead of lying, making up some dumb excuse, I just be honest and say I cannot cover this or I'm not financially capable. This helps get my point across, be honest with my partner, and also just be truthful to them and keep the honesty in the relationship. When we're put in situations like these, where the truth can hurt the other person's emotions, we feel that it's tempting to lie. We feel that it's okay to lie rather than being truthful. When in reality, the best way to deal with these problems is to be truthful, especially during serious topics like financial issues. Because when we're dealing with serious issues like finances, it is better to help your partner really understand what is going on in your life and theirs so that they can deal with it along with you and keep the honesty in the relationship. Thank you.
Oh, oh. Woo! Do it away.
Very good, man.
That.
That was easy.